Well, hello and welcome to another video by AntiquesArena. My name is Walter Neal and I got a cracking little video for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about a couple of buys I've picked up on the weekend. I'm going to show you some beautiful lots in the local auction house I was going to bid on, or I did bid on this weekend. Show you what I didn't win, what I won, and just have a little general, scoot about what I bought. And we're going to learn something really important as well today. Know your beans. Have you ever heard that expression, know your beans? It basically means know what you're doing or know what you're talking about. The reason I say that is back before the original lockdown started in March, myself and Stephen, we used to go to a flea market, and in this flea market an antique dealer had in a bust, a plaster modelled bust, handmade, and they didn't have a clue what it was. They priced it up at £300 and knew nothing about it. I tried and tried and tried for a couple of months to buy it off them and get a decent price off them, but they wouldn't budge. Anyway, I went in this Sunday. I was out shopping, doing Christmas shopping, so I thought, well, I'll pop across the auction and have a look what they got. So I went around the flea market as well. This is the bust in question that they had probably end of February, beginning of March, somewhere over there, or middle of March. They were asking a pretty penny for it, let me tell you. I've got a couple of photographs of it. It looks a damn sight better under the light and in reality than what it does on the screen there. It's beautifully done, real good quality work. Now on the back, it's actually signed TMC Donald, Regit 1995. Okay, so this is the bust in question. You'll have to excuse the mess in the photograph. I've just took it on my table now and you can see the Christmas tree in the background there. So beautiful little thing. On the reverse, that's what is engraved or inscribed on the back. TMC Donald, registered 1995. Now, let me show you. This is the ticket they had on this bust whilst trying to sell it this Sunday when I went down there. Captain Mcdonald, cold cast bronze bust, £275. Well, they've come down £25. But it's not bronze, it's plaster with a bronzed finish. So it's like painted bronze on plaster. I knew it wasn't bronze before I bought it. Didn't pay that money for it. It's also not Captain Mcdonald. If something like a bust is going to be named, then that name will be on the front on display so people who are looking at it know who the figure is. The T Mcdonald on the back, this on the back is Terry Mcdonald. He's a Liverpool artist or sculptor. Now, if they had done their work, he's a Liverpool sculptor who is trying to bring a hero of the Battle of the Atlantic home. So basically, the bust is of Admiral Houghton. Where are we at? He's done a variety of these busts, all of the same man. Trying to find, bear with me. If I come down to this one, is it this one? Right, there's Admiral. Right, so that is Admiral Houghton. That is who is the subject of my bust. Now, the sculptor, as I've said, is an 83-year-old man. He's a well-known sculptor who lives in Liverpool. He's made a variety of these, all made by hand. As you can see there, he's making a 6-foot version there, stood on a barrel. He was actually trying, there you go, if I look there, he was trying to raise £20,000 to turn that one there, that he's doing there, into bronze. He wanted to do a 6-foot bronze statue of Admiral Houghton, which I believe he done was unveiled in Anglesey. he inspired, I don't know if he actually done it, but he inspired the statue that was of Admiral Houghton that was unveiled in Anglesey. Now, there's a full history here of Sir Max Kennedy Houghton. Served in the First World War, Commander-in-Chief, Western, you have to excuse me, I haven't got my glasses on, Western approaches in the later half of the Second World War. He was basically a war hero. And Terry McDonald wants the world to know and celebrate this admiral. Well, I now know the subject is Admiral Houghton, and I know the sculptor is Terry McDonald. Now, I paid £150 for the bust. I can guarantee you, I told her down there this wasn't bronze, this was plaster. I'm not being funny, you only got to look at the back there, you can see it's made of plaster. And I tried saying to her that it's made of plaster. She said, no, they make it of plaster, then they put the bronze over the top. It isn't. If you scratch it, the bronze finish comes off. So it's a painted bronze finish on a plaster bust. However, she is trying to sell it as a Captain McDonald. It is not Captain McDonald. Terry McDonald is the artist. This is Admiral Houghton. Absolutely quite an important figure in military history. And it's done by a wonderful British sculptor. So I'm hoping, because there are not many of these around, he made these personally by hand. I would like to think it's closer to £400. Even the fact it's a plaster one, not bronze. I think if she'd realised that it was Admiral Houghton and it was by Terry McDonald, instead of making up a story trying to sell it, she not only would have sold it months ago when she had it, but she would have asked more money for it. Now, we knew back in March when we saw this who it was. Myself and Stephen, we'd left the flea market and we searched it in the car and we found it within literally 2 minutes of being in the car on our phone. Found it straight away. So I've been sitting on this information since March, and I've texted and emailed, give me your best price on it, and nothing. So I went this Sunday, £150 under the nose, and I walks out with it. I could live with it if it didn't sell. The quality of the bust is spectacular, and I shall be writing a little plaque to stick on the base, who it is, who the subject is, and that's a real nice little item. It's going to end up on my website, probably $3.95. It's worth every penny of that. And if you're a military collector or naval collector, then you ain't gonna do much better. But it's such an important lesson. Know what you're selling. Don't make stories up trying to sell stuff just to try and up the price. Because in all honesty, the truth took 5 minutes to find on a computer, and it's increased the price drastically more than what they invented from a made-up story. Shall we take a look at the auction and the auction lots that I was bidding on this weekend? Okay, so basically this is one of the auction rooms. There's 2 rooms. They have this room here, which is all full of smalls, as you can see on tables, and then the next room is all full of furniture with a few tables on the side, and the really expensive stuff in cabinets. The reason I went to the auction originally was there's 3 lots like this. All this is Austrian Swarovski crystal. There's some like 24 pieces in every lot. However, majority of it is, this first one here isn't bad. You got this big bird here, and you got a couple of swans and things. So this first one's worth a bit of money. I would assume that bird there is worth sort of £60-70, and then these are the ones on eBay. You're probably £4 or £5 each, but you probably get, if you waited, £10 to £15 a piece on all this. So there's probably about £300 per there. I saw it at retail. I thought I'll pay £100 and win it. This was the second which was lot number 11. This one wasn't as good. As you can see, there's near enough all jewellery, all low-end Swarovski. The Mickey Mouse there, okay, they pulled 30, 40 pounds. It's Mickey Mouse brooch. It is not the character. The characters pull good money. The only thing in here I did remember that was good, I'm looking for it now, there was a sterling silver or gold-plated sterling silver insect brooch. I can't see it now, but I had to sell them for sort of 40, 50 quid. This was the final lot I was bidding on. They had another Mickey Mouse. They also had another one of the silver brooches. Can I see it in here? Just bear with me. Again, I can't see the silver brooch. It was an insect brooch. But anyway, I think you'll agree that the Swarovski crystal looked pretty good. Now, I honestly thought around 20-25 pieces per lot. I thought, realistically, if I paid £4 or £5 a piece across the board, I'm going to win it. So I thought £100 a lot, £300 for the 3 lots. I was so wrong. Now, bear in mind, a lot of that you could find individually on eBay for £6 to £10. A couple of the pieces would have been more money, but a lot of that jewellery and things you can buy between £5 and £10 if you like. I'd like you to take a guess on how much the 3 lots sold for. No, higher. £680. 280 for the first and 200 each for the second 2. Pretty much £700. Plus then you got commission and VAT to go on top of that. I don't see how they're going to make a profit, but that's up to them. That was the main reason I went to the auction. There we go. Whilst there, I found this. Now, this lot did actually carry on for another couple of foot to the right, but it was all really poor metalware. The pieces I was interested in here was a 19th century Chinese Buddha, beautifully cast, a pair of Oriental bronze ducks, real large, heavy pieces, and a Chinese pewter. Probably it's a duck, but probably for eggs. The top comes off. Now, I actually put in my book, I will buy these at any price. I thought the Buddha was worth a bit of money, and those ducks were spectacular. Let me zoom in so you can have a little look. Those ducks really were well cast, and they had good verdigris on them. Really nice. On this Buddha, let me show you the Buddha. He was absolutely spectacular. Look at the movement on him, the flowing, the casting. Really nice quality Buddha. I'd say he was at least 19th century. Anyway, he starts off asking for £40. Nobody in the room said anything. I waited. I wanted to see. So I put my card up. And I held my card up. Then the internet came in. And it was 40, 50, 60, 70. And bearing in mind, I'd already wrote in my book any price I wanted them. Then we get up to 200, and I'm thinking, does any price mean any price? Then we get up to 300, and I'm still holding my card up, and the internet is still fighting me. We got to £400, and I put my card down. I thought the Buddha might have been worth a couple of hundred. The bronze is probably £300 or £400 for them ducks. £400 I pulled out. Add commission on that, that's near enough £500 they've paid for the Buddha and those 2 ducks. It was an expensive day to be at the auction, let me tell you. That was one lot I didn't want to walk away from without coming home with, and unfortunately at that price I had to leave it. I did buy some bits at the auction, but I want to show you the bits I didn't get first. This was another piece that I bookmarked that I wanted almost at any price. This piece was by Henry Cooper, 19th century, well-known listed artist, oil on canvas, Highland cattle. Now this was an original, this wasn't a print or anything, this was an original work of art. And I'm not being funny, look at the quality, look at the balance. It could almost be a photograph. It's really well painted, beautiful. He starts off at £160 book bid. I pick up my card again and I hold it up. And again, I hit £400 again and put my card back down. I looked online, Christie's in South Kensington. I'd sold one at 350 plus taxes, but that was a few years back. There was a few people asking like £1,000 from on eBay, but by the time I paid £500 for that, then I had to sell it and pay my 20% selling fees my other end when I sell it. It was just a lot of money. So I pulled out. But yeah, if I hadn't gone to the auction, the first metalware lot probably would have sold at the 40 quid asking price, and that would have sold at the 160, 170 pounds, give or take. I run them both up to the 400. However, I did buy a lot, one single lot out of the auction, which is this. Okay, so this was the lot I won. As you can see, it was just before the Swarovski crystal, so it was there, and I thought, well, it was cheap enough. They opened the bidding up, 20 quid, and I jumped in. You have a Worcester jug here, you have a perfume bottle there, you have a little tub of jewellery, some nice enamel buttons here, an Italian bowl. So it was a nice little lot. I will show you them pieces individually and what's so good about them in a minute. Purchased that at £55 plus taxes, so it comes to £64. So that's the only lot I won in the auction. I've got some other bits from the flea market to show you at the end. But before we do, we'll have a little look at the pieces from the auction. This is the first piece. Now this is 19th century Royal Worcester. It's known as a flat back jug because literally the back is flat. Beautiful design with butterflies and things and floral. Now if we turn it over, we have an early registration number, patent number, and the Royal Worcester mark. I believe it dates it to about 1887. This is a blush ivory jug. So bearing in mind I've got £64, give or take, that I got to pull back off this lot. That's in mint condition, mind, and that's going up on the website. There's no chips or cracks, very little gildware. So if we come across to eBay, I had a little look. There's one here, 1888, which is a year later than mine. They're asking 270 from Australia. Blush Ivory 1903 by there. That one apparently is a large one, 175. You got a pair there, which is the same reg as mine, so it's the same year as mine, so about 1887, give or take. 129, but they look white, not blush. 124 by there. That's a close one to what I got. 1888, very similar, simple pattern. 101 from USA. 95. You can see they are asking good money. But what are they achieving? Well, you got 1 year, 1887, 1094 pattern. They took a best offer at £135. Don't know what they have. You got another here, the same size as mine, 5.5 inches, £115. 101 best offer accepted, 77. So realistically, they got blank one there, sold for 56. So realistically, I'm not going to struggle to get all my money back that I paid on the lot just on the Worcester jug. Realistically, I think that Worcester jug, 19th century, lovely condition, blush ivory, it's going to be about £75 on the website. So I'm slightly in front just on the jug. Then we come to this. I would say it's probably 1920s, somewhere over there. It's bohemian, it's overlaid, it's hand painted, it is spectacular. It's a perfume bottle. So basically you have the green base glass, then they put this opaque glass over it and cut it back to reveal the pattern. Then it's all gilded and hand painted all around. Absolutely stunning, matched painting on the stopper, in good condition, so no damage on the stopper. It's got a big ground and polished pontil to the base, which means a nice dip. So when they snapped off the pontil rod, they've ground it out and then they've polished it smooth. That is just a dream of a perfume bottle. And again, I'd say that's probably anyway sort of £60–70 again. So I'm probably doubling my money now just off the jug and the perfume bottle. So it really was a good lot to buy. Next we had this Italian hand-painted bowl. with a cockerel. Looks very much like the Deruta. It's stamped Italy, pattern number 14710, number 89, made in Italy. So it's just mid-century Italian pottery, and it's probably worth £15, £20, I don't know, something like that. It's not worth a fortune. It's a little conch shell or something like that, hand painted. It's just a pleasant little bowl, and it should pull £15, £20, I would think. I'll probably put 20 on it on eBay and see what offer I get. Whatever the offer is, to be honest, I'll probably end up taking. In amongst the lot also was a really nice pair of, I weren't 100% if these were welding goggles or cycling goggles, but I'm pretty confident they're safety goggles for welding. Now these actually sell for money. These are probably going to be a £20 to £30 pair of goggles. Okay, well, at least that's what I've had for them in the past. I should have looked them up, but I never bothered. But again, they were in the lot and they're in lovely condition. Nice pair of goggles. It wouldn't matter if they went for 10 or 12 quid. It's more profit. These were part of the same auction lot, and these were absolutely beautiful. Now, I think they're button covers, but they're no longer on the buttons. Either that or they were cufflinks, and they've lost the centre joins. But they are... I'm going to take one out. They're all identical. There's 2, 4, there's 5 buttons in here. So I would assume the buttons for coming down the front or something. Look at that. So I'm not 100% what you can do with them now. You probably turn them back into buttons or something like that. But look at that. Beautiful little dog. And they've all got the same dog. And it's moulded in the glass and then hand painted. Reverse. I think it's called intaglio painting. So they're reverse painted. So there's a set of 5 of those glass buttons. Probably would have been 6. Is it? No, 5, because only 5 fit in the pouch. So there they are, in the original pouch by the looks of it. And what are they worth? Probably 30 quid, I would think, give or take, something like that. That was it on the knickknacks. Then we had a bowl. Did you see that bowl of jewellery? Right, so if I zoom in here, do you see this little bowl here? I didn't actually notice that on the day when I was bidding on the auction. That is full of sterling silver. What is actually, I've pulled out of there. Ignore the watch. The pocket watch is just a cheap little pocket watch. However, you've got a thin silver chain here with a nice Swarovski crystal pendant. You have a solid silver pendant set with moonstone. A very large, heavy, chunky sterling silver bracelet. This chain here with the cross on is really thick and heavy. And the cross looks to be almost homemade, set with turquoise, really nice. Then we have an enameled badge, which is for Nurses College for England and Wales. We have a sterling silver locket, and then we have another silver chain with another moonstone and a silver ring. Here's a little close-up. You can see that's a standard thin chain. Look at the difference in these compared. Really nice. You can see there the nurse's badge. That's really nice. That nurse's badge, believe it or not, is going to be probably 20 quid on its own. There's the pendant with the moonstone, that beautiful little flower above it and the moonstone, really pretty. I don't think much of the pocket watch is probably going to go out £5 or £10. There's the cross and chain, real big heavy chain and cross. The locket and that beautiful little pendant. Look at the colours in that moonstone. Absolutely stunning. I think it's a moonstone anyway. So if I come back here, this bracelet here has got to be £30 or £40 just on his own. No problem at all. I would say £30 to £40 for this silver chain and cross because it's a real nice heavy one. That pendant there is going to be £20. This one here is probably £6 or £7 with the chain. The nurse's badge is going to be £20. You're talking a tenner for the locket, another £15, £20 for the moonstone and chain, and probably get £5 or £10 for the ring. So what's that? 40, 80, 120, 130, 40, 150. About £160 per there of really nice sterling silver jewellery. If we work out £160 for the jewellery, £150 for the Worcester jug and the perfume bottle, so that's what, £310. Another 30 for the buttons, £340. Let's say 20 quid for the glasses and the bowl, £360. I'm making about £300 profit off this one lot when I split it all up and sell it. That's what you call buying smart at the auction. Anyway, I also went around the flea market. And I didn't fail. The first thing I picked up at the flea market was this. Now, there were two pieces there. There was a hedgehog and there was this. Now, the good thing about these is they almost look like a school project that somebody's made in a class. You know, they were really quite rough and crudely made. However, the hedgehog wasn't stamped, so I left it there. But this one is fully marked up, John Hughes, Wales. Now, John Hughes is the inventor of these things, which is known as a grog. Now, if I show you down here, do you see there, John Hughes' signature? The grog shop is a few miles down the road at Pontypridd, not far from where I live. Now, as you can see, I'm asking £175 for this grog. These, now when I looked at this one, I didn't think much of it. I just thought a comical dog. But when you look at it, I think it's actually a British bulldog in comical form. Some of these pull 30, 50, 70 pounds. I haven't looked this one up yet. It cost me a whole pound. It's in good condition. It's good enough to go on the website, not just eBay. I'm going to do some research on it, but I doubt very much it's going to be less than 20, 30 pounds for my £1. But what you're looking for, let me show you the signature in close up. There is the signature for you, John Hughes of Wales. Now, they do so many different animals. They do sheep with special messages on. My favourite one of all time was keep Wales tidy, throw your rubbish in England. There's lots of little funny messages on them, and they're all quite rough looking, but they're stamped John Hughes, okay? And if you get the rugby players, or they've even done special commissions like John Wayne and Pavarotti, things like that, they can pull big, big money. So John Hughes and the Grogs, something to keep your eye on. And for £1, that was a gift. Next, I look at the stall and they have this beautiful jug. Pick it up. Underneath, it is stamped Burley with a number 129. But when you look at this pattern, it screams Charlotte Reed. But what I haven't seen before, look at this. It's almost not like the finish you get on a nut and bolt. All the way around there and there. Now, I've searched the internet. I cannot find another with this banding on it. The pattern is 100% Charlotte Reed. I have no doubt this is a Charlotte Reed jug, even though it doesn't carry the Charlotte Reed signature. They don't all. It cost me a £5. Now, it does have a factory floor, or a hairline crack, wherever you want to do it, but it only goes from there to there. It's not the end of the world. In good condition, this would probably be a 70 to 80 pound jug, or even a 90 pound jug. As is now, it's still probably 45 or 50 pound, and I paid a £5 for it. I'm going to try my best to find the pattern. I know the number 129 is a big giveaway. It's a Charlotte Reed jug without a doubt, in my opinion. So if I can find it, this banding may make it rare. The price may go up depending on what I find out when I do some research. But for a £5, I wasn't leaving it there. Okay, my next piece was a bit of pool pottery. Now, I'm undecided yet as to what this is. When I saw it, I honestly thought ice bucket. Now, I've had ice buckets with a handle on the side here, and you put your ice in and put your little glass in, or your bottle of wine to keep it cool. It's pool pottery, so you're talking 50s, 60s. It's got the bluebird pattern, so it's all hand painted. It's in lovely condition. Now, I'm undecided. I haven't done the research yet. It's probably going to end up being a biscuit barrel. Now, should it have had a lid and a wicker handle? Or is this how it is, where it's literally an ice bucket? I don't know. But for £3, I can sell her as an ice bucket. Because honestly, if you was to search little ice buckets, that's exactly what they look like. It could be a biscuit barrel, but if it is an ice bucket and it's not missing anything, then this is actually going to be worth quite a bit of money. If it's a biscuit barrel missing its top and its wicker handle, then it's probably worth a tenner. But if I can sell her as an ice bucket and it is original, in good condition, then maybe 45, 50 pounds. But for £3, that's a nice little gamble. Final piece for the flea market was this little, I think it's a Shih Tzu. Little doggy. It's done by Silvac. It's got the impressed Silvac mark. I don't know if you can see it. It's an impressed mark, Silvac, and the numbers, well, looks to be 31, 35 or something like that. Dogs always sell. It cost me £2. If you got one of these dogs, you're going to want it. It's that simple. And they do well in the shop. They do well on eBay. And I just like dealing with animals because people relate to them. They come in, they have an emotional attachment. Oh, that looks like my doggy, I want it. It's not fortunes. It's going to go for £12 or £15, give or take, something like that. But for £2, it's in good condition. I'm keeping it. I don't know how many of you follow my videos, but not that long ago, I bought a hoard of bayonets, World War I Remington and Winchester bayonets. Anyway, my son requested one for Christmas. Now, bearing in mind he's only 14, so I was, how can I do this to keep it safe? Have a look at what we managed to do. Now, my local photographer, Mountain Ash Studios, Wayne, he does framing of everything. He'll frame up shoes, he'll frame up shirts. Well, I took the bayonet into him and he done an absolute outstanding job. Now, this is framed in a box behind glass. And look at that. He has done an absolutely outstanding job. All the stamps and everything and the date and everything on this is 1917 Remington blade. It's all on the front, so it's readable. And that's ready now to hang on the wall for my son for Christmas. Just shows that you can still do something special with these antiques. There was no way I could just hand my son a bayonet and say, there you go, crack on. So putting it behind glass is safe. It's going to be up on his wall. I haven't got to worry he's going to stab himself or play sword fighting with his brother or sister. So, yeah, happy days there. So that was a good little turnaround there. I sold the others. I got one bayonet left, I think, out of about 8. So that's all right. And, they're doing all right. They don't seem to be struggling with weapons. Well, I think that's about it. The moral of tonight's story really is, don't try and make up something and sell something you don't know what it is. In fact, if you don't know what it is, don't sell it. Because I have made so many mistakes over the years where I've sold something for what I thought was a good price and it turned out to be peanuts. Honestly, if you don't know what it is, put it in a box aside and ask for help. It's no point making stories up to try and sell something when you literally, there's no truth behind them. Because a buyer could come back and say, well, you sold me this as such and such and such, and it's not. Do the research. Ask for help. Use a Facebook group. There's plenty of ways you can get help. And finding out that bust was Admiral Houghton, finding out how important he is. I may do a nice print off the history of Admiral Houghton and have that framed up and sell it with the bust side by side. In fact, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a nice little write-up about Admiral Houghton and about Terry McDonald, frame it up and sell it with the bust, that'll certainly increase the price, and that history then will stay with the bust always, so people will know who the bust is, who the artist is. I'm adding value to the item then just by simply doing 5 minutes of research. So yeah, I like that saying, know your beans. Anyway, I haven't put a video out for a while, so hopefully you've enjoyed having a look at the lots I tried to buy in auction, the lot I did buy in auction, and the flea market finds. Admiral Houghton there was a flea market find as well, for £150. So all in all, I didn't actually have a very expensive day. It was quite cheap. 150 and 64, 215, about £225 in a day. For me, that's less than a quarter of what I normally spend in a day. So that was a cheap old day. If you've enjoyed, I would very much appreciate a like and a share. Don't forget, them thumbs up really do make a difference. Check out some of my other videos. I've got some amazing haul videos over the last few months, and some spectacular stock, to be honest with you. Thanks for watching, guys.